What's up guys, Lewis here from Incredible, back with another rundown of every indie game releasing on your consoles this week. Now quick warning, it is a big one. In fact, there's 23 indie games releasing on consoles this week alone. So without me banging on anymore, let's get through these indie games. Up first, we have got Chasm. Now Chasm is a classic style action-adventure game where you take the role of a newly recruited knight looking to prove their worth. Setting off on your first quest as a knight, you'll look into the disturbance of a small mining community. But further inspection reveals that all members of the community have been kidnapped by supernatural creatures. These creatures have now taken refuge within the mines themselves, and you'll need to descend the depths and put an end to this supernatural evil to prove your worth as a knight. Chasm is releasing on PS4 on the 31st of July. Castaway Paradise started as a mobile game but has since evolved into a fully fleshed PC title and is now making its way to PS4. Sitting in a similar vein to Harvest Moon or Animal Crossing, you play as a character who has found themselves stranded on a desert island. With survival being the ultimate goal, you'll be able to fish, catch bugs, cultivate the land and build an impressive home in the rather adorable sandbox world. Castaway Paradise is releasing on PS4 on the 31st of July.
Nothing on me.
1 week back and you're pulling this crap?
1979 Revolution Black Friday is a historically accurate cinematic game built around eyewitnessing encounters from freedom fighters who experienced firsthand the revolution that defined the current century. Not only does gameplay play out in a slick cinematic fashion, but also challenges players with huge consequential decisions that literally affect the fate of your friends, both in the present and the future. We can't wait to play through this stylish 70s adventure, and you can get your hands on 1979 Revolution Black Friday when it releases on PS4 on the 31st of July, Nintendo Switch on the 2nd of August, and Xbox One on the 3rd of August. Forsaken originally released back in 1998 on PlayStation and Nintendo 64, but now developers Night Dive Studios are bringing us a fully remastered edition of the game. Set in a dystopian future where the world is full of scavengers and not much else, you play as one of these scavengers who has descended on what little remains of Earth to try and loot the last of the remaining technology. However, you are not the only one. Sneaking past AI defences and taking down other scavengers is the aim in this classic FPS game. Forsaken Remastered is releasing on Xbox One on the 31st of July.
My parents used to say, everyone is born with a duty to serve others.
Wargames is the next game from Sam Barlow, the developer behind the hit mobile game Her Story. This interactive live video game plays out around main character Kelly and her group of misfit hacker friends. Wargames looks to take the interactive experience one step further by fully adapting the game and evolving Kelly's character based around every decision you make. Wargames is coming to Xbox One on the 31st of July.
I'm supposed to be able to trust you.
You wanted Wargames, this is it.
Titan Quest is an expansive RPG game based around the hit book series Titan Quest. The game plays out across ancient Greece, Egypt and Asia, and after civilization-destroying titans have escaped from their eternal prison, you must set off on an adventure to put an end to their freedom and save the world. Venturing on this quest doesn't have to be alone, as you can team up with up to 4 friends in co-op online play. Already available on PS4 and Xbox One, Titan Quest is coming to Nintendo Switch on the 31st of July. One More Dungeon is a first-person adventure game that plays out in procedurally generated dungeon and features the much-loved roguelike element. Delving into these dungeons as a nameless hero, you'll need to collect loot and destroy a variety of pixel enemies, all to grow stronger, which will allow you to venture even deeper with each new playthrough. One More Dungeon is available now on PS4 and Nintendo Switch and is releasing on Xbox One on the 1st of August. State of Anarchy Masters of Mayhem is a hugely expanded remake of the original State of Anarchy. Playing as an ordinary member of a town, you're thrown into turmoil when your town catches fire, looters are raiding just about everything, and aliens have decided to invade. Your aim is simple, literally shoot absolutely everything that moves while making your way to each stage checkpoint. State of Anarchy Masters of Mayhem is releasing on Xbox One and Nintendo Switch on the 1st of August.
First time I ever saw a tank, I was a kid, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world.
Armoured Warfare is a free-to-play vehicular warfare game that is available now on PS4 and PC, and is coming to Xbox One this week. The game offers over 100 military-style vehicles for you to choose from, and a huge variety of co-op PvE missions and competitive PvP modes. Taking on other players and completing missions will allow you to level up and unlock more loadout options for your vehicles. Armoured Warfare is releasing on Xbox One on the 2nd of August. Picross originally debuted on Nintendo consoles just over 20 years ago, and now a new, flashy version is releasing on the Nintendo Switch. The classic number puzzle game comes with some extra modes in the form of New Picross and Mega Picross. This new edition will offer players over 300 new puzzles to test their logic, and a story mode that evolves around the uncovering of pictures. Picross 2 S2 is releasing on Nintendo Switch on the 2nd of August.
Centuries, but peace is finally preciously near. We set out on the ocean to secure that peace. Failing this mission would surely plunge us into darker days.
Salt and Sanctuary originally released on PC and consoles back in 2016, and now this brilliant 2D Souls-like is coming to a Nintendo Switch. After becoming shipwrecked on an island, you must make your way through the stunning 2D hand-drawn environment. The big issue here is the relentless amount of brutally challenging enemies that stand in your way. With over 600 weapons, pieces of armour and spells to collect, you'll have all the arsenal you need to overcome these foes in the tense Souls-like combat. But trust me when I say that doesn't make Salt and Sanctuary any easier. Salt and Sanctuary is releasing on Nintendo Switch on the 2nd of August. Now don't be fooled by Flat Hero's simplistic design. Here we have a wonderfully challenging puzzle action game that asks you to overcome 300 levels with just 4 simple controls. Possessing the ability to only run, jump, dash and attack, you'll need to gracefully manoeuvre your way around the vast array of levels, which helps bring a huge sense of success with every level completion. Flat Heroes is releasing on Nintendo Switch on the 2nd of August. Eekeemoo is a 3D adventure game where you play as Eekeemoo, who is on a quest to save his trapped friends. After the Dark Shard has created 4 corrupt Splinter worlds, you must venture forth to help your friends. Freeing a trapped friend will unlock their abilities, which can be used to overcome both the enemies and puzzles that await you on this dark adventure. Eekeemoo, Splinter of the Dark Shard is releasing on Nintendo Switch on the 2nd of August.
Our city is plagued by crime. We need a leader to tackle the issues. Someone who'll use reasonable force unreasonably.
Not a Hero released last year on PS4 and Xbox One, and now the Super Snazzy edition is making its way to the Nintendo Switch. Playing as a cast of rather unique heroes, you've been hired by a politician hoping to become the mayor of the city. Your task is simple: blast your way through the city's ripe crime underworld, spreading the goodwill of the politician along the way. Gameplay in Not a Hero is fast and relentless. With over 9 heroes to switch between on the fly, it manages to always feel fresh. Not a Hero Super Snazzy Edition is releasing on Nintendo Switch on the 2nd of August.
It's time to poke crime in its terrible face. Vote Bunny Lord. A violent today for a better tomorrow.
Iconoclasts is a 2D action platformer that asks the question, can one mechanic save the world? Playing as Robin, a young girl who wants nothing more in life than to be a mechanic, you set out to prove your worth and acquire your mechanical license. But what starts out as a simple task soon turns into a world-saving mission. I've only played Iconoclasts at an event earlier this year, but loved the sheer size of the levels and huge screen-filling bosses. Iconoclasts is available now on PS4 and Xbox One and is releasing on Nintendo Switch on the 2nd of August. Cycle 28 is a fast-paced bullet hell style shooter that challenges you to set the highest score possible. After becoming separated from your fleet and stuck in Cycle 27, you end up living the cycle over and over again. The only way out looks to be to literally destroy everything and anything that comes into your screen. As you'd expect with the twin stick style gameplay, there is a variety of power-ups and ship upgrades to help you break out of Cycle 27 and help you achieve the highest score you can set. Cycle 28 is releasing on Nintendo Switch on the 2nd of August.
So, you're into those boring real-time strategy games. Wrong! You're into rage, tears, and suffering!
Crush Your Enemies is a strategy game set in the barbaric lands of Ganeria. The game offers a full strategic challenge, but is designed to be played in small and short bursts, which makes the Switch release even more perfect. Everything we want from a strategy game is here, from forming armies to managing resources, and Crush Your Enemies delivers it all with a healthy splash of humour, especially throughout the single-player story campaign. Crush Your Enemies is releasing on Nintendo Switch on the 2nd of August.
When you're done slashing your foes, crush your friends into their faces. Work off your Nintendo Switch. Play as you want. You should believe me. But if you don't, here are some things people I punched too hard say about the game.
What's going on out there? I just tangled with half a freaking battalion of Nazis. It seems there's some more gangster in town.
Guns, Gore and Cannoli 2 brings back the action-packed run-and-gun gameplay we love from the original, extending further on Vinnie Cannoli's personal story. Set directly after the closing scenes of the original game, you play as mobster Vinnie Cannoli, who this time must go against the mob itself. Sticking with the iconic 1940s setting, Guns, Gore and Cannoli looks to be a fast-paced, action-heavy run-and-gun platformer with a nice emphasis on story. Guns, Gore and Cannoli 2 is releasing on Nintendo Switch on the 2nd of August. Road to Brawlhalla is a ball-rolling puzzle game that sees you on a mission to make your way to the legendary ball heaven Brawlhalla. Rolling your way through the bright levels will have to be done to the bopping music beat if you wish to overcome the array of lasers, floor traps and other environmental puzzles. Alongside Brawlhalla's main story is a selection of other modes and of course competitive leaderboards. Road to Brawlhalla is releasing on Nintendo Switch on the 2nd of August. Kensho is a tile-sliding puzzle game that takes you on a whimsical journey through a world inspired by nature, time and space. Solving the continuously challenging puzzles will allow you to interact with new elements of the environment and unfold more of the game's intriguing narrative. Kensho is releasing on Nintendo Switch on the 2nd of August.
Exposure be saved. Did you sleep well?
What?
Now stop daydreaming and pay attention. The flute noses are in danger.
We will hunt down every last flute nose.
Are you all complete idiots?
The Inner World, The Last Wind Monk is the sequel to the hit adventure game The Inner World. This fantasy-inspired adventure offers a ton of brain-teasing puzzles, quirky characters to meet, and a realised political world to venture through. It's recommended that you play the first Inner World before jumping into the sequel, which releases on Nintendo Switch on the 3rd of August.
Oh, this is pretty confusing.
And then we'll save the world, just like old times.
Jump Gunners is a fun and frantic multiplayer game that's gameplay sits somewhere between tower defense and classic strategy game Worms. Teaming up with up to 4 friends, you can play through a series of game modes where you'll need to defeat hordes of enemies. Alternatively, you can go head to head against your friends, where the game will test your ability to master the gun recoil jump mechanic. Jump Gunners is releasing on Xbox One on the 3rd of August. The final game releasing at the end of this long list of indie games is Super Dungeon Tactics. Super Dungeon Tactics is a classic turn-based strategy game that lets you take control of up to 15 RPG-inspired characters in a variety of levels and strategic situations. Playing out over a variety of mini-quest missions, you'll need to overcome hordes of enemies to collect their loot and level up your heroes. But not everything in Super Dungeon Tactics is in your hands. With a lot of spells counting on the dice rolls, you'll need to make sure you plan when to play it by luck or when to keep it simple. Super Dungeon Tactics is releasing on Xbox One on the 3rd of August. Well, that wraps up a huge week of indie game releases on your consoles. As always, guys, we'd love to know if you're looking forward to playing any of the games in the comments below. And to keep up to date with more things indie games, including a weekly podcast based around the world of indie gaming, then make sure you subscribe and head on over to indie-credible.com. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching and goodbye.